manifesto, a Akufo-Addo manifesto. I see it in the Mahama manifesto. So it becomes a theory, and the problems persist every 4 years. But I was looking for more of how you intend, notwithstanding the manifesto, to deal with maybe one or two of it, to provide assurance, the Ghanaian people, that you are going to give a different type of leadership to address the situation. But I understand it's a broad sector. Maybe I should have asked you the insurance or the production to industry. How do you intend to operationalize it? Maybe we would have gotten some more clarity on the matter. Yes, that is so my follow-up question to you is, Honorable Nominee, on the issue of food losses, in your lens, how do you intend to deal with it, in your lens?
Mr. Chairman, it is indeed a serious problem confronting agriculture in this country. And we will want to introduce something new to reduce food losses in this country. We've been talking about agribusiness. What we are saying is that we are going to encourage the private sector to put in place mini plants close to the farms, so that as soon as we harvest, they will buy the produce, process them. If it is cassava, for instance, you grind the cassava, put it in the rubber, you seal it, and then they sell to the big companies. If we are able to put these mini processing plants around the country, we will reduce food losses significantly in our country.
Mr. Chairman, my second question. Mr. Chairman, during the campaign...
Well, I take the first one, then it was followed by a comment, and this is your second question. Yes. Then you are moving. If you don't have a follow-up question on this, then you are moving to your third question.
I'm guided. Mr. Chairman, during the campaign, the honorable nominee mentioned that we are cheated cocoa farmers on the price of cocoa. The honorable, and that the price that we are offering, 3,100, was very low, that they will do better. He did not give us a price. Now, the finance minister nominee on the platform mentioned that we should be paying cocoa farmers 6,000 Ghana cedis, yet we're paid 3,100 Ghana cedis, and that we are insensitive to the plight of cocoa farmers. Mr. Chairman, after the elections, I was tempted and guided by those comments to increase the price of cocoa to 6,000 cedis, as recommended by Honorable Atuforsen and my senior on the platform. But I felt that it wasn't right to do so. I want to ask the nominee, when confirmed this month, can he assure cocoa farmers that by February or by Valentine's Day, he will increase the price of cocoa to 6,000 Ghana cedis, so that cocoa farmers who are producing the chocolate for Valentine's Day can get a benefit of it? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Nominee.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, it is a fact that I, Eric Opoku, made that constructive proposal to government of Nana Akufo-Addo, government of Ghana under the leadership of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, to consider giving Ghanaian cocoa farmers a minimum of 6,000 Ghana cedis for the 2024-2025 cocoa season. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman, in determining the producer price of cocoa, you look at the FOB price or the wet market price. Then you look at the exchange rate. For purposes of clarity, I want to walk you through how we determine producer price of cocoa in 2016, and then do the comparison, then conclude on the matter for everybody to understand.
Chairman, Chairman...
Honorable Leader.
Yes, with your leave.
Honorable Leader, with all due respect, let's allow the nominee to finish answering the question, and then the questioner will have the opportunity to ask a follow-up. If there is a follow-up, then I can come to your follow-up question. That's the ground rules that we have set. So, nominee, have you finished your answer? Very well. Finish your answer.
No. Chairman, with respect, if you would grant me leave, Chairman, we have granted some dispensation. Please bear with me. He's a colleague I respect so much, and he knows what honorable nominee, respectfully, in your very emphatic answer, did I get you right in your answer to the effect that you made a proposal? You made a proposal.
Yes, please.
That's it. That's
very well. Proceed with your answer.
Mr. Chairman, I made a proposal because I did not have the power at the time to do so myself. And the only thing I could do was to put a proposal forward for government to consider. Now, back to the answer. In 2016, the FOB price was $2,950 per ton. The exchange rate was $1 to 3.90 cedis. And so when you multiply 3.90 to the 2,950, the cedi equivalent of the per ton value was 11,505 Ghana cedis. When you divide this by 16, you get the per bag value of 719 Ghana cedis. And so in 2016, every bag of cocoa sold from Ghana in the world market attracted 719 Ghana cedis. Out of this, the Mahama administration gave the Ghanaian cocoa farmer 475 Ghana cedis. 475 Ghana cedis, which constituted 66.06% and kept 244 Ghana cedis, which was just around 34%. Mr. Chairman, the 244 Ghana cedis the government kept, part of it was used to procure fertilizer free of charge to the cocoa farmers. Part of it was used to procure chemicals for the cocoa farmers.
Order. Please, let's listen to the nominee in silence. Order. Let's listen to the nominee in silence. Please proceed with your answer.
Mr. Chairman, I'm taking a cue from the sentiments of the appointment committee, and so I will be laconic and lucid, but the point must be stated. Now, what is the point? In 2016, the farmer was given 66%. And so, every one of us knows that the principle of Cocoa Board has been that the cocoa farmer must be given 70% of the price. Now, in 2024-2025, every one of us, it's a common knowledge that the world market price is spiking up on the back of global cocoa shortage. And so when you go to the world market, at the time they announce the price, the average price was $10,711. And the exchange rate at the time was $1 to 15.5. But I was charitable to even use $1 to 15 cedis. So when you multiply per every ton of cocoa, Ghana was earning the cedi equivalent of 160,665. You divide this by 16 to arrive at the per bag value of 10,042 Ghana cedis. Out of this, I said, if we are getting 10,042, how much of this can the government of Ghana give to the Ghanaian cocoa farmer? I calculated 70% of it, and it was above 7,000. But being mindful of the fact that this government has plunged the cocoa sector into the abyss of debt, I was charitable to use 60%. The 60% was the 6,000 that we put out as a proposal for consideration. But government decided to give the Ghanaian cocoa farmers 3,000 initially. That 3,000 constituted 30%.
Thank you very much. Any follow-up?
Yes. Honorable, I belong to a football club in Legon, and we say one thing when we meet each other. Yeah. My question is simple. Will you, based on the promises you made and the challenge you threw at the NPP government, and now that you are admitting that you were actually looking at the world market price, when you know that in 2024, the world market price will be used for prices in 2025, but you are in 2024 using the spot market price to calculate that. I take it, but I'm asking you, now that the cocoa price has moved from 10,000 to 11,000, it means that when you take office in the first week, you will be able to increase the cocoa price from your committed 6,000 now to about 7,000, which will represent 70% of the world market price. That is a simple question. The world market price of cocoa has moved from the 10,700 to 11,000. So all you are assuring cocoa farmers is that when you take over, it will not actually be 6,000, but it will be more than 6,000 that you will announce to cocoa farmers.
Mr. Chairman, I thought that my colleague will listen to the Honorable Minority Leader. I've been praying for God to help me resist the temptation to do something that the leader doesn't want me to do.
Mr. Chairman, I have had an extensive discussion with Honorable Samson-Ahi. Honorable Samson-Ahi, I've had some good discussion that there are matters of governance, matters of systems and policies, not NDC, not MPP. And there are matters for the Ghanaian public, and the market is likely to respond. So we decided to hold back our lunch to take you. The whole day we've not had lunch. We've not had a break to take any. So, Chairman, in Okunko, is it Okunko who said in Things Fall Apart that Okunko, yes, your smile must be brief. No, Okunko, is that not? Your smile must be brief. So your submissions must be brief as well.
Mr. Chairman, it is no. He has asked a question. I must respond. I haven't answered the question. No, I haven't answered the question. Obienim sawabi, Mr. Chaso. Chaso. Yakasamati, Chaso.
So probably we may have to reduce the questions to Eric Opoku. Now, it's now the turn of Honorable Dr. Jasayo.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Honorable Nomi welcome and congratulations. I must say that in the last 4 years, I've worked with the honorable nominee as his deputy ranking, and it's been wonderful working with him. He's a great leader. I wish you well. Honorable nominee, still on the cocoa subsector, there is this apprehension because the production of cocoa beans have reduced. And that in the last year, we made only under 450,000 metric tons against an expected 850,000 metric tons, upon which we took the
Chairman, cocoa production for last year was not 430. It was 530, if you care.
Source?
Yes, Ghana Cocoa Board.
Okay. So, Mr. Chair, I flatly disagree with him, but for progress of this conversation, assuming that the 530,000 metric tons is anything to go by, it's not a statement of fact.
No, it's a notorious fact. Honorable Agric knows. Please, don't let us say it was 400. Stop it. When we are dealing with verifiable facts, it's not 400.
Leader, let's make progress. And I'm saying, Honorable Chair.
Honorable Dr. Jasayo.
Yes.
Hold it. I believe if there are some errors in the question asked, as you indicated, that to quote you, Wabi. So he's capable of answering the question and doing the corrections alongside. So proceed with your question.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. You have nothing to worry about. Let's assume that the production for last year is 530,000 metric tons. Cocoa Board engages in forward sales of cocoa beans. At present, the reports from Cocoa Board inform us that there is a deficit of paying cocoa beans of about 350,000 metric tons to the buyers outside the country. As if you are confirmed as Minister responsible for agriculture, what steps do you think we can take to pay that debt before we start talking about cocoa beans for processing into chocolate for Valentine? Thank you.
Honorable nominee.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. Regarding the figures, I will say that both of them are right. Before the transition, the Select Committee on Agriculture, Food and Cocoa Affairs met with Ghana Cocoa Board at Koforidua, and they indicated to the committee that their total production for the year, for last year, was 429,000 tons. And that is why I'm saying that Honorable Dr. Josiah, referring to that figure, was or is right. Now, when you come to my colleague Opoku, just recently, during the transition engagements, Cocoa Board submitted some documents to us. I was privileged to be part of the transition engagements. In that document, they indicated that their production was 530. And so in this case, both of you are right. But whatever be the case, be it 430 or 530, production has declined. And this is the lowest in the last 2 decades. Then on the issue of the default, yes, Ghana went to the syndicated market and then took a loan of $800 million to purchase 850,000 tons of cocoa. At the end of the season, we were unable to produce the 850,000 tons. So we defaulted on the loan. And then they decided to roll over that delivery to this year. The quantity is 374,000 tons. This is the figure they gave us during the transition. And so Now that we have assumed office, we have to look at how we can deal with this debt and many other debts at the sector before we can make progress. And so what we are trying to do is to first and foremost take the office, go through the books, ascertain for ourselves whether the information we are getting is actually what is on the ground. Because we are picking some information that suggests that even the figures we have are far, far, far below the real figures. So until we get the real figures, we are unable to make a determination as to how to contain them. And then as soon as the chief executive is appointed and the cocoa board is put in place, the Ghanaian people will be made to know exactly what we have inherited. So I'll crave your indulgence to exercise patience. When the chief executive comes and the board is in place, the question will be properly answered.
Any further question?
Mr. Chair, I trust in the capacity and capability of the nominee, and so I'll leave the rest of my questions for now. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. It's now the turn of Honorable Dr. Isaac Yao Opoku.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Chairman, let me also add my voice in congratulating my good friend and my namesake for his nomination. Chairman, the nominee is on record to have said that Cocoa Board management wasted 3.4 billion as administrative expenditure. And indeed, this has been captured in the NDC manifesto, that the NDC government will prioritize investment in cocoa production over wasteful administrative expenditure to improve the livelihood of cocoa farmers. Chairman, I have the audit report, and it has given the breakdown of the administrative expenditure. Chairman, with your kind permission, I would read, this is just a, yes. We have auditors' remuneration, depreciation, amortization of intangible assets, directors' remuneration, staff costs, legal and professional expenses, rent and rates, bank charges, bond expenses, maintenance/utility costs, head office and division operations. Included in the administrative expenses is an amount of 942,982,000 Ghana cedis incurred on productivity enhancement program. Chairman, my question is, which of these expenditure do you consider as wasteful, and which one will you abandon when you are given the approval?
Thank you. Let's have some order and take the answer to the question.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, my argument was clear. I was speaking on the floor of the House, and I did indicate that I find it extremely difficult appreciating why, at a time when cocoa production is declining, office expenditure is ballooning. And I refer to the Auditor General's report that in 2021, Ghana produced 1,047,000 tons of cocoa, and office expenditure was 1.7 billion Ghana cedis. In the following year, cocoa production declined from 1,047,000 tons to 655,000 tons. But office expenditure, according to the Auditor General's report, increased to 2.6 billion. The following year, cocoa production declined to 530,000. Office expenditure again increased to 3.4 billion. So if you establish this inverse relationship between office expenditure and cocoa production, every rational being will question whether you are being fiscally prudent or there is some kind of fiscal laxity in the administration. And so I don't know how my colleague, who is knowledgeable in the sector, can defend this indefensible situation. But I thought that leader, minority leader, has advised that people should tread cautiously because of the sensitivity of the market. But when you push,
don't be provoked. Don't be provoked. Once again, I've had an extensive discussion with Honorable Samson Ahi.
Honorable Ranking, the questions are provoking the answers. Any further question?
All right, I'll slow down. Chairman, I'll ask. No, I'm not done. Chairman, the NPP administration established the Tree Crop Development Authority by Act of Parliament. In the NDC manifesto, you intend to initiate the Tree Crop Development Program, and you have listed 8 crops, some of which are not in the Tree Crop Development Authority. I want to find out from the honorable nominee whether you intend to scrap the Tree Crop Development Authority.
Mr. Chairman, there is a difference between the authority as an institution and programs. In our manifesto, we are talking about programs. But I must say that we are all aware that government is a continuum. It continues, it doesn't end. And so whatever programs, projects that are ongoing under the NPP government, the SYL NPP government, the incoming administration will make decisions and incisions, tailor it to fit into our agenda and execute it to perfection.
Thank you very much. Any further question?
Chairman, my last question. In your manifesto, under the caption, Agriculture for Economic Transformation Agenda, AETA, you indicate that the NDC government will create farm banks within the agricultural zone to ease access to land and irrigation facilities. Nominee, considering the intricate nature of our land tenure system, how feasible do you see this arrangement? In other words, do you intend to nationalize these farm banks?
Mr. Chairman, that policy intends to address the very challenge that he mentioned. Normally, people encounter a lot of difficulties accessing land for agricultural purposes. We want to make agriculture attractive to the youth and everybody in this country. So we will want to acquire the land, prepare the land for agricultural purposes, then hand over the land to prospective investors so we can increase production and drive our nation towards food sufficiency. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Chairman, I'm not clear. The lands are in the hands of the chiefs.
Honorable member.
Follow up.
Very well, but what you said is that you are not clear. So if you have a follow-up question, draw my attention to the follow-up question.
Chairman,
so please proceed to ask the follow-up question.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Chairman, as you know, the lands are in the hands of individuals and farmers. And you know the complex nature of our land tenure system. So how are you going to acquire those lands? Because it is possible that, you will not get any contiguous, land to be considered as your farm, banks. So that is my concern. How are you going to be able to acquire continuous lands? You approach who?
Mr. Chairman.
The question is not directed to you.
Mr. Chairman, what we will do is first and foremost to identify the owners of the land. If the land belongs to the chiefs, we go to the chiefs. If it belongs to families and the family head is Honorable Brian Champon, we'll go to him, discuss with him, acquire the land, and then prepare it for the agricultural use. Simple. We acquire the land. Land acquisition is done by government, by any other person. You want the method to acquire.
Now is the turn of Honorable Jijoli Gakpe.
Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Nominee, you are welcome. And then congratulations to you. I know my ranking is very competent, very diligent, and then I have worked with you for the 4 years. I have no doubt about your capability. At this juncture, I have no question for you, just to congratulate you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It's now the turn of Uma. You have no question. Very well, very well. Honorable Rita, no question. You have one question. Please go ahead and ask.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. And I wish to congratulate the nominee on his nomination by His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. And I have no doubts in my mind, working with you as a friend on the Agric Committee, that you can deliver to us. But one area I would really want you to critically look at is the growing, that is the gardening in the homes and then the schools. Yes. So that's one area I believe when we were growing up, we used to have gardens at home and we planted pepper, tomatoes, onions, and it really helped us. And so I would wish that you would take critical care of that. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and congratulations again.
Thank you very much. It's now the turn of Honorable Patrick Obama.
Thank you very much,
He
Chairman.
indicated he has a question.
That's my good friend, Eric, Chairman. Congratulations. The gentleman from Sankore. Eric, I know you are passionate about how to get the youth into agriculture and also Agric Extension Services. I know you answer my question with those two issues that I've raised. My question is from your manifesto, the NDC's manifesto, 2024, page 78 of 200, at paragraph 3.11, sub 1 and 5. Your manifesto made a very bold promise of rehabilitating a lot of dams
I saw the Pualugu multi-purpose dam there. I saw it. And it's in your manifesto. I've given you the page. You listed a lot, Accra Plains and what have you. How much would it cost you to undertake this rehabilitation programs? And I believe you've done your numbers and you'll be able to tell Ghanaians how much it's going to cost your ministry. I know the House will approve of you. We know what you are made of. But I want to know how much it will cost you to rehabilitate all the dams listed under paragraph 3.15 of the party's manifesto, the NDC. And I wish you the very best, Eric. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, the question posed by my colleague is in threefold. The first one has to do with youth in agriculture. The second one, Agric Extension Services. And the last one is on irrigation. And so I will tackle them one after the other. Youth in agriculture. Mr. Chairman, I read a report issued in 2021 by Haifa International. Haifa International is an international organization based in the United States. They are determined to bring an end to hunger and poverty while protecting the earth. They indicate that in Ghana, only 5% of our youth is engaged in agriculture. This is unacceptable. It means that agriculture is not attractive at all to the Ghanaian youth. And therefore, something must be done immediately to make agriculture attractive to the Ghanaian people. What can we do? First, we have to ensure that we create huge market for agricultural products to give confidence to farmers that when they produce, there will be market for their produce. And that is why in our manifesto, we have emphasized on agribusiness. The marriage between agriculture and industry. Industry will serve as the huge market to buy from agriculture. Industry, again, because of the 24-hour economy policy, will have to employ a lot of people, including the children, the grandchildren, the siblings, and the nibblings of these farmers. And so all these people who were hitherto dependent on the farmers will now be empowered economically to contribute to the resetting of Ghana. Then on the issue of Agric Extension, Mr. Chairman, Agric Extension is very, very important in modernizing agriculture because the extension officers serve as an intermediary between research and the farmers. They are the facilitators and the communicators. They help the farmers to make their decisions. They help the farmers to accept and adopt modern techniques of farming. Without them, agriculture cannot develop. Unfortunately, in Ghana, the agricultural extension officer to farmer ratio is around 1 extension officer to 1,500 farmers. Mr. Chairman, reading the handing over notes, they have indicated that currently every extension officer is serving 1,765 farmers. Even if you use the 1,500, and because of the peasant nature of the farms that we have here, assuming every farmer has 3 acres of farm, it will mean that one extension officer will have to visit 45,000 farms, 45,000 farms within the space of 4 years. And so there's the need for us to employ more agricultural extension officers. The assurance I can give to the committee that because of the priority that we have given to agriculture, as you rightly mentioned, in our manifesto, we have indicated that agriculture is going to be the engine, the pivot, the fulcrum around which all the economic activities will revolve. And therefore, we'll make sure more of these people are recruited to push the agenda forward. On the issue of irrigation, you are asking about the cost of putting all this infrastructure in place. We have done the costing. But I can tell you that the cost is likely to change because of the inflation that we're experiencing today. And so I have the cost as at the time we were putting our manifesto together. And it will be inappropriate for me to put that figure out as that is not the figure we are going to use to put up the infrastructure. So, Honorable Boama, you have been here for a long time. You know the procedures. As soon as the budget is presented and this issue is provided, the cost will be indicated in there for us to debate. It is premature for you to raise this issue here.
Thank you very much. Very well. I will now give the floor to
Mr. Chair.
Honorable Chief Whip.
This is a follow-up. This is just a follow-up to
well, you can ask your follow-up question and thereafter follow up with your substantive question because it's your turn.
Okay. So, Honorable Nominee, let me commend you. I have no doubt that you will be able to live up to the billing. You have shown demonstrable confidence, so I have confidence in you, and I want to commend you highly. However, you made a comment on the farmer extension officer ratio. I know that it's been a challenge for a while, even before the NPP took over. I know when it comes to these things, you are more patriotic. And I want to see that sense of patriotism in you this evening. Now, it was difficult. We came in under Dr. Akoto, the same problem. Also a 3 years time. It improved a bit. It improved significantly. Okay? Then, compared to yours was so bad. So if it's a question of farmers to extension ratio, you don't really have the moral right to come and be describing how bad the situation was. So we did well. Dr. Akoto did very well. Would you agree with me on that?
Mr. Chairman, I recall vividly that this issue has been debated upon on the floor. We were told by the Honorable Akoto on the floor of the House that the government was recruiting 1,200 extension officers. But the following year, when they brought the budget and I checked the staff ceilings, I realized that they had recruited only 217. And when we asked them, they said the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development was responsible for the recruitment of the rest. I follow up to check on their staff ceilings, and they were completely missing. And so, leader, sometimes, apart from what we hear on the floor, we have to go beyond that to ascertain whether the paper information is in consonance with the reality.
Okay, that's fine. Maybe we'll have another day for this debate. Yes, we'll have another day for this debate. Not today. He's not ready. He's not ready. Where he's seated? Oh, leader. Oh, sorry. So, Honorable Nominee and a friend, you have been eloquent on agribusiness, and I hear you use that expression a lot. Are you able to elucidate and also contextualize it in the current situation we find ourselves as a country? What do you mean by agribusiness? In what context?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, agriculture is simply the growing of plants and the raising of animals. But agribusiness focuses on profiting from agriculture using technology. And so, in the current situation, agribusiness is anchored on production, processing, transportation, and distribution. And so, we have a situation where there is no link between agriculture and industry. We in the NDC believe that the only way to make agriculture attractive to the youth, the only way to make agriculture profitable, lucrative venture for people to invest in is to marry the two. So that when you produce, value is added to it, you increase your export, you reduce your import, you restore stability to the exchange rate, and then create conducive atmosphere, conducive and congenial business environment for businesses to thrive, throwing out millions of jobs to absorb the teeming youth of our nation.
So,
any further question?
Yes.
Please go ahead.
Mr. Chair, the nominee knows that changing the mindset of our teeming farmers to switch from the normal subsistence and cutlers and who has been a challenge for a very long time. It is easy to say that, well, it's a challenge and therefore we are going to encourage our youth to go into it. What will be the narrative? What are you going to do? You have 4 years. What are you going to do to change this thinking? It is not easy as you're saying it. I have done some consultancy for MIDA. And you go to typical areas where our farmers are. And it's about subsistence farming. It's about what they want to eat. They farm what they are going to eat. So farm, excuse me to say, to the mouth. Exports only is considered when we are looking at free zone companies. And foreigners come and flood this space and take over. I just wish that 4 years from now, we can have evidence to say that indeed we have changed the mindset and the thinking of our farmers and our youth. I don't know how you are going to do this. It's not going to be an easy task. Many a time we find this thing, we state them in our manifestos. This is not the first time your manifesto is talking about agribusiness. It's not the first time. So look into the microphone and tell the teeming Ghanaian youth what you are going to do. I have confidence in you, but it's not going to be easy. What are you going to do to translate these matters practically? How differently are you going to approach this?
Mr. Chairman, first and foremost, we are going to launch a program akin to a champion's Operation Feed Yourself. Under that program, every Ghanaian, every household would be encouraged to own a home garden. At least we should take advantage of the rich soil to produce the basic vegetables that we need in our homes. We are also going to encourage institutional farming. Under this, every secondary school in this country will be made to own a farm. We are going to liaise with my brother, Honorable Haruna, if given the nod, the Minister for Education, to recruit laborers for the secondary schools to help them prepare school farms. Mr. Chairman, if we're able to do this, if for nothing at all, we can reduce the cost of school feeding. We can also improve both the qualitative and the quantitative aspect of the food that is served to our students. Then again, we are also going to encourage the churches and the Muslim entities. Already, some of them are into farming. We can talk about the Savior Church. They are into serious farming. We can talk about the Pentecost Church, the Christo Asafo Church, and many others. I cannot mention all of them. And Seventh-day Adventists and all of them. We want to encourage all of them to also invest in farming. Mr. Chairman, nature has blessed us with land that is capable of giving us the food that we can eat and even export. And so we have to take advantage of that. Now, regarding the peasant farmers issue,
thank you very much, Honorable Nominee. I'm not taking that. I just want to thank the nominee. So go ahead with your question.
Okay. So
Order.
Yeah, it's Honorable Eric. Do I have your attention?
Mr. Chairman, you have my attention, except that I suspect some kind of a breach of, contract here. Because just before when I entered, you told me that, oh, my brother asked for you, I won't ask you any question, because you are capable. But you are bombarding me with a lot of questions.
Mr. Chair, my friend knows that we both know each other. And I'm doing this because of the people of this country. Just between the two of us, I could have decided not to ask you. But people, our Ghanaians are listening to you. And they need to hear some good words from you. Eric, let me test your knowledge on this. Smart agriculture, sustainability, climate change. These are current words that are used in the current narrative in terms of sustainability, green agriculture, and all that. How are you able to situate this in our situation? And this may be my last question. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, all the issues or the terminologies you have raised or broached here point to one particular term: how to sustain the environment, to make agriculture sustainable as well, how to implement policies that are environmentally friendly. But to properly respond to the question, as part of my preparation towards this vetting, I read from an Indian agronomist and humanitarian, M.S. Swaminathan, who has been described by the United Nations as the father of economic ecology. And he said this: when agriculture goes wrong, nothing else will have the chance to go right. When your agricultural policies go wrong, food inflation will be rising. Food import bill will be rising. Unemployment rate will be rising because you are importing more and you are generating exchange rate vulnerabilities that will have the tendency to convulse the entire business environment, leading to business collapse and unemployment rising. And so the policies we have crafted in our manifesto are technically achievable, economically sustainable, and socially acceptable. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Chairman, let me thank the nominee. I want to thank you for responding to my questions, and also to tell you that we are going to follow you with an eagle eye. All the beautiful things you've said, get prepared. Get prepared that we are not going to take them lightly at all.
They are saying you should rather follow with a tiger eye. Honorable Deputy Minority Leader, do you have a comment?
Thank you very much. Honorable nominee, congratulations. Yes, I know that you have a number of beautiful programs that you want to roll out there. But I have a responsibility, because we were in the chamber when we passed our affirmative action bill into law. And you know very well that in pursuing these programs, we have to take into consideration the women and some marginalized groups. And these people always face barriers to land ownership and access to credit. How will you tackle these systemic issues to create a more inclusive agricultural sector, as you are proposing out there? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, according to a report issued by the World Bank in 2021, in Ghana, 44.1% of women are employed in agriculture. My view is that it is a good thing. The only problem is that they are confronted with challenges like their male counterparts. But I think the issue relating to credit has already been addressed. I did mention that we will establish Ghana Agricultural Insurance Scheme, under which will subsidize agriculture insurance to direct agricultural lending and allow the banks to offer credit to our farmers. And so the women in agriculture will take advantage of this opportunity to access credit to expand their farming activities. And then you also raise the issue of land acquisition. I think that has also been dealt with when we talk about the land banks and the fact that we want to prepare the lands, allocate to the farmers, deploy the extension officers, and make sure they deliver.
Thank you very much. Honorable, yeah, you want to? Yeah.
Chairman, just a quick follow-up. On agro-insurance, I know countries like India, I think India, Kenya, Zambia, and a few others in Africa are doing it. I don't know if you have reverted your minds to the need for actuarial scientists to do some good work on this. Because it's a good thing, though, but if you want to bring it to in our country, you have to check on all these variables. Even the Insurance Act may have to come under an amendment. Maybe you have to think about it well, because if you are going to say, I am going to take you on, because I'll be filing questions very soon. So get your actuarial scientists to be doing the calculations and be sure it's something you want to do. Yes. I don't know if you have done that.
Mr. Chairman,
yes, a follow-up.
Mr. Chairman, it is a policy captured in our manifesto. And so all that we have to do to make it implementable has been done.
Thank you.
I'll just add, Honorable Nominee, I realize that you've been concentrating so much on crops, and you have not spoken much on poultry and other aspects of it. And then I also want to know something about how you were dealing with the disabilities. I've mentioned vulnerable group, but disabilities must be a key area that you also have to do. Thank you.
Please, your response, the poultry.
Mr. Chairman.
Oh, you've noted it.
Mr. Chairman.
Very well. Please.
Mr. Chairman,
poultry and
on the poultry sector, I think it is important I speak to it, because the poultry farmers out there want to hear something from me. Reading the 2024 budget.
Why are you acting this way? You are supposed to be nominated. Your good conduct. Why? You have not. Your nomination has delayed. You are not going to pray. If I were you, I won't be coming here. Then you are taking a fight with the minority leader. How would I pray for you? Can you leave here, go and pray? Your thing has delayed. All your colleagues have their names out. Yours has delayed, and you are still coming here sharing power.
I love to be here, and I belong here.
Honorable Nominee, your response to the question.
Yeah, but
please,
Chairman,
the response first.
Respectfully, Chairman, my first question was on the poultry industry and what we are going to do to revamp it, because it's so important. And so because of that, I wanted to just make sure you comprehensively. That's why.
Are you a coach?
Mr. Chairman, reading the 2024 budget, specifically